The last knight cleaned the accumulated rust, dust, and debris off his armor with a cloth. He knew the thick, brown-orange layer would once again accumulate by the end of the day, but he had to honor his kingdom, even if the kingdom was long dead. He trudged up the jagged mountain, past gnarled beaten trees and rivers rusted with once-forgotten armor. He reached the cave in the evening and took a moment to take in the view and reminisce before entering. Trees grew from once mansions, and the castle was a pile of loosely ordered rocks. Forests grew from once settled villages that now fertilized the mild, nutty, slightly fungal scented earth. The other knights were dead. Tears flowed down the last knight's face as he remembered all that was lost. The histories were dust, and the kingdom was fading from memory. The last knight stood up straight and marched down into the cave. Dust and sludge bordered the cave, the remnants of both the dragon's victim and its horde. Tarnished gold coins poked out from the ooze, but the last knight passed by uninterested. He walked for hours through the decomposing, once catacombs. He held up a shield as he entered a colossal dome deep inside the earth. The smell of salty fish in the sun assaulted his nostrils. It was a sagging coliseum, with once intricate carved stones falling into eroded shapes, like wind slowly tearing apart a mountain, or water slowly gouging a river into the earth. The dragon itself sprawled, sleeping across its lair, and snored like a slumbering bear. The last knight felt like a mosquito in comparison. The dragon's scales were corroded, greenish with age, and falling into sludge. The last knight climbed across the Colosseum, careful to avoid waking the dragon as he searched for its head. Stone crumbled beneath him. The dragon remained asleep as the gray powder fell onto it. Once he located the head, the last knight gripped the sword in his hands and tightened his grip on the cold, hard, dependable steel. He launched himself from the wall towards the dragon's neck. The sword penetrated through the scales, but the neck was thick from ages of undisturbed growth, and severing the head would take time. The dragon popped its head up and opened its cloudy, once amber eyes.
"Who goes there?"
It spoke as the last knight maintained a grip on the slimy neck with his legs and continued to move the sword like a handsaw cutting through an ancient tree. "I am the last knight, come to slay the last dragon."
"The kingdom is dead. I can barely move. Why do you wish to slay me?"
"Because I swore an oath to the king, and will fight enemies of the kingdom until the bitter end." The dragon's chest fell up and down in a laugh that sounded like a snort as a wisp of smoke floated out the dragon's mouth.
Oh, I dream of forgotten fires in my sleep. I am left with only the diminishing smoke to fill my sanctum. I remembered bathing in brilliant blue flames that warmed me like the sun on a brilliant summer's day. My scales were warm, and my heart beat with life. The memories fade with every passing day. I am a candle burnt and reduced to a shameful pile of wax. The smoke is a mockery of my forgotten greatness, the beauty I used to feel. There is no great monster anymore. There is no kingdom. Everything is a specter that will be reabsorbed into the earth, leaving food for the harvest and fossils to go undiscovered.
The last knight remembered the glory days of the kingdom. His days as a squire, training, and caring for his horses, his family, his induction to knighthood by the king. saving villagers from dragons and fighting witches. He roamed the earth for many years, slaying the last of his sworn foes. He briefly wondered if it would be better to have left the dragon lineages or witch covens to inherit the world, but then remembered the king's death and his oath to destroy those who destroyed the monarchy. The last night strained for several minutes, but eventually, blood poured down from the wound and the dragon collapsed to the ground. Its eyes closed one last time. The last knight felt the warmth slowly leave the body and assured himself the deed was done. The kingdom was avenged. He reflected upon his journey. Where would he go now? There were no monsters to vanquish, and no one to save. The last knight left the Colosseum. How long had he roamed the earth? His memories around the king's death were old and fading. He found himself only able to remember brief snippets of the before. He could not remember most of the dragons he slew. Tears rolled down the last knight's face as he realized that he was the last thinking creature on Earth, the last remnant of a civilization forgotten even by him. The last knight stepped out of the cave and watched the sunset. He pulled out the cloth to clean off his armor and sword. As he polished, the metal fell away into dust. His body blew away as dust in the wind, as the horizon darkened, leaving only the plants and animals to inherit the world.